Kuan be? Padidit be?
Approaching AS2.
Right, we're back in Point Trail Ultra in Malaybalay at aid station 2, kilometer 14 of the 70-kilometer points race, and we are expecting the two leaders in the men's race to arrive here any moment. We can already see the flashlight in the distance, and we believe we saw indeed two runners still, and that would then be probably the still two runners who were leading at aid station 1. That's Kik Swallow, and we believe the second runner, who we did not recognize, is Chenica, who would be a new name in our ATM series. I'm actually not sure if it's two runners. We will find out very soon. Christian Jurgensen was 1 minute behind at the first aid station. And there he is, and let's find out who it is. And that doesn't look like Kik, is it?
Yes, sir.
No, it's not Kik. It's indeed. Let's try to find out.
Eric. It's Eric.
First runner, Eric.
Eric Candelaza.
First runner.
Eric Candelaza.
Eric Candelaza.
Oh, Eric Candelaza. First runner.
Gasa, sir. Iligan. From Iligan.
Boxer.
Boxer. Pagkaon niya, sir. Asin.
Asin.
Nalarik, sir.
May flash? Lakay flash, sir?
Naa.
Eric Candelaza leads the Point Trail Ultra here at aid station 2. He dropped Kik Swallow, obviously, in the second section. He's a new name. He's a new name for me. Brian, are you familiar with him?
No, it's new.
New name, yeah. All right.
Eric Candelaza from Iligan.
From Iligan, which is where exactly? For the
Iligan City, next from Cagayan de Oro.
okay. So also from Mindanao. And there's no second runner in sight yet, so he's taken a bit of a gap. As I mentioned in the start broadcast earlier at midnight, Bukidnon is a region where trail running has been booming in the last 3 years, since the end of the pandemic. And almost in every race there's new faces at the front. We're still a couple of hours into the darkness here at aid station 2, which is, as I mentioned, just around the corner from aid station 1. So the runners did a loop, including one of the many hills that they have to conquer in this Point Trail Ultra. It's a roller coaster, as I mentioned before, up and down, basically the whole race. There's a lot of this kind of dirt trail, dirt track. So even though it's wet because it was raining in the afternoon, it's still quite runnable, it appears to be. So the gap has increased in any case also to Christian Jurgensen. So if this new name, Candelaza, Eric Candelaza, can hold on to this kind of pace, it's still a long way to go, of course. This is very interesting. There's a runner approaching now. Hopefully later on in the race we can also do some live streams at the aid stations in the daytime, so after sunrise, so we can also show you some of the beautiful landscapes, the beautiful scenery here in Malaybalay. Malaybalay. Malaybalay is the venue, or the region at least, of the Mount Papa jail run in Myanmar coming up at the end of the month. So we just started again with season 10, the last quarter of the season before the championship final in Vietnam. That will be hosted by the Mukang Chai Ultra Trail in the northwest of the country. And the race day is 4th of October. Runners need to qualify. The best 5 point scorers per country, they will be invited. The best 5 men, the best 5 women. We have a couple of wild cards for former champions as usual. The regulation for the wild cards is that former champions need to complete 2 ATM races during the season in order to obtain their wild card. And some of the former champions have already done so again, including Ha. Not sure, of course, whether she will take part in the ATM final, even though it is in Vietnam. But Ha is a global star now, and another ATM title she won in 2022 when she was a newbie. Another ATM title would not really boost her record anymore. PHI also got her wild card. She's the reigning champion, and she is, according to her team T8, expected to run again and defend her title, which can become very interesting because no runner has ever won the ATM championship twice. And for a young runner like PHI, that could be a good challenge. Vanja Knops is also expected to run again. She was on the podium the last 3 years, but did not win so far. Speaking of former champions with wildcards, so Rashila Tamang is also going to get her wildcard in 2 weeks, normally speaking, at this Mount Popa jungle run in Myanmar. She is signed up for that race. Alessandro Sharpa also has his wildcard. John Ellis, the 2019 champion, has his wildcard. And of course also the 2 Filipinos, Arnie Macaneras and John Ray Onifa. Let's see if some of the other former champions, like Ruth Teresa, for example, she has one result in the bank, in the account so far this season. And I keep on talking because there is no more runner arriving, and as I say, I see Kick Swallow now appearing. So Kick Swallow, at least I believe it is him, but I do think so. Kick Swallow is running in 2nd place. He got dropped by this Erik Candelanza. And Kick Swallow, this season already 4 ATM results. Listen to this, 1 second place and 3 third places and no win. And also last season he was always, well not always, but often on the podium, but no wins. So he's still without a race win in the ATM series, but he's a very strong runner. Podium many times and 7th in the ATM final last year. Kick Swallow, also supported by NAC Nutrition, our official nutrition partner. The other Filipino supported by NAC is Godwin Mirror. He is from Bukidnon. Oh, and there we have a fall, and that could be Christian Jurgensen. Normally speaking, that should be Christian Jurgensen. He had a bit of a tumble there. It is him indeed, with T8.
It's all over. Third runner at this time.
There's a bit of a tumble, Christian.
Yeah, because they're putting spotlight in your face on the way down. It's crazy. I should tell them, don't step on my toes, please.
So Christian, the race leader, is about 5 minutes up the trail.
Okay.
Christian Jurgensen, the winner of the Mount Ugo Marathon 5 weeks ago in the Cordilleras, chasing his 9th ATM race win.
No, it's okay. It's just crazy. You really need to tell them not to blind the runners.
Spotlight.
It's dangerous, and especially on the where there's grass. Thank you.
Alright, so interesting feedback from Christian Jurgensen. He got blinded by the spotlights here in this little descent here on the way to aid station 2. Christian Jurgensen, 3rd in the ATM final 2023 in Indonesia. He had a good race there. Last year he DNF'd in the TMBT. So, and he himself was explaining to me a couple of months ago that the victory of Jeff Campbell was inspiring for him. Jeff Campbell, the reigning ATM champion, who won that race in Borneo TMBT, Malaysia, last year. Very impressive. Christian, of course, also no longer the youngest runner in the field, just like Jeff. But obviously the quality, the speed, the strength is still there. Probably need a bit more recovery now between races to perform at the highest level. That's what happens when you get a bit older. So this is the top 3 of the men. Same the top 3 as at the first aid station 8 kilometers ago. So now we should be expecting a few runners like Joe Mark Ferrer, like JV Kagatin, maybe Isaiah Paraiso, even though he was a bit further back. More runners coming now apparently. Let's see.
Oh, port there.
So there's another points race today in Thailand. That's the My Home Trail. And My Home Trail is a reference to the home of Jay Jantarabun. For many years already, the perceived, and probably also rightfully so, as the strongest trail runner in Thailand, Jay Jantarabun. Last time he turned up in the ATM circuit was 2 years ago, I believe, in Korea, when he won the Korea 50k race. He's won also in the past UTKC and UTCR, I believe, but he also once explained to me that he does not consider himself a trail runner. He considers himself an adventure runner, or an adventure racer, a discipline where he indeed has also scored a lot of success already since a long time. And he is now having his own trail race, a 50-kilometer trail race. Was successful last year and has been added to the ATM program and was sold out also already a long time ago. And that race is starting at 6 a.m. Filipino time. It's 5 a.m. Thailand time. Here we have number 4 in the race. Roberto Kain, the third winner of BTR Ultra 100 kilometers 5 weeks ago. That was before the break. We had. He's also had a few other results already this season in ATM, so he's on the way to earning a spot in Team Pilipinas.
Silaw dito, Chong? Silaw pag nauli niyo?
Silaw? Di man? Kira.
Yamping.
There he goes, Roberto Kain. Let's not count him out of this one yet. He was incredibly strong in BTR Ultra, leading that race more or less from start to finish. He was joined by another runner, I forget the name now, who it was exactly, for about 6-7 kilometers going up Batur, but then he went solo already and he did the rest all by himself, and even extending the gap progressively. So Roberto Kain, it was his best performance, at least in the ATM series so far. Also his first win. Let's see if we can add another one today. Once again, if you're just tuning in, the leader of the race is still Erik Condelanza. Apologies if I mispronounce the name. He's a new name, new face, coming from the Philippines, also from Mindanao, the area north of Cagayan de Oro. And he is about 5 minutes ahead of Kik Suelo, and Kik was followed by Christian Jurgensen, who just had a tumble here just before he arrived at the aid station, but without too much damage, it appeared. Just annoying, of course. Let's wait for a few more runners. We will be heading out to aid station 4 after this one, so there will be a bit of a time gap between the footage of this aid station and the next one. After 4, I believe we will be heading to 8. So that will also be a bit of time between, but the good news is that we will have sunrise then as well, and then we can actually show you also more of the scenery here. More runners coming now, I hear.
5 minutes gapon biya ba?
So my home trail in Thailand starts at 5 a.m. local time, 6 a.m. in Hong Kong, Singapore, Philippines. And we have good Thai runners there on the start, obviously. Also friends of Jay Jantarabun. As I was explaining, it's his home. He has designed the course. It's a tough 50k also. Quite a lot of elevation gain. And Mark Jimin is our reporter for Asia Trainmaster over there. And he will be following the race and updating us mainly on Facebook at first, but also on YouTube. We will be uploading the videos afterwards. Next week we're in Malaysia for Trail da Gombak, the next Malaysian points race. And there we have 2 points races in the event. We have a 100k and we have a 50k. It's going to be a very international race with lots of interesting runners, good runners also. Then we go to Singapore for Ultra Trail Singapore, 50k, arguably the most runnable race of the entire season, obviously because there is very limited elevation in Singapore. But last year UTSG 50 was bullseye. So it was very well organized, a very good vibe, also very good atmosphere at the event. So we're very happy also that the ex-trailblazers are continuing, because it's very difficult to organize this type of event, trail running event in Singapore. So, but that's in 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks we also have the previously mentioned Mount Popa Jungle Trail Run in Myanmar, which was actually also scheduled for next week, but local authorities have forced the organizers to postpone the event by 1 week. Then we're heading into July for Mantra 116 in Indonesia, also a classic. And here we have number 5, it's JV Kakatin.
Okay ra, Jeb?
Okay ra, lapo kayo ba?
Baka slide.
Serte.
Kakatin, the Filipino points leader in the ATM ranking last year. He scored more points than anybody else. In the final, he was 11th.
Coke sir, Coke. Bisa.
Rad, 15 minutes yung gap sa nag-una.
Di kaya po to.
Orange.
Amping.
There he goes. Kakatin, also a runner who recently got his first Grandmaster star. With these competitive runners who go for performance, go for wins, go for podiums, we sometimes tend to forget they also, of course, become Grandmasters sometimes. There's also competitive runners who focus on 50Ks, and then, it takes a while, of course, before they reach that milestone, that Grandmaster milestone. You need to have 70K races. And the next, what is it? I don't know, I think there's a few locals there with flashlights, but in any case, this is the next runner, I think, but the flashlight is off. Number 6 in the race then.
Pangalan, sir? Henry Valencia. Henry Valencia, taga doon siguro ni.
Henry Valencia. 6th place.
Henry Valencia.
Henry Valencia, 6th place here at Aid Station 2. JV Kakatin just left.
Okay. Slide, sir.
Nakraman kayo ko, nahulog ko sa pangpang. Enjoy kayo sir, enjoy kayo.
Nabilin. May kinakakaway ba na?
Ampo na lang yun ko.
Yung katong mga siminto ba?
Coke sir, Coke.
Marag na slide, tungtungan niya to pero slide kay kining kuan man.
Kuya, hukak kwan, pagbahada ba, hukak break.
Also, Henry is not exactly a new face for me, but his name
Thank you.
does not immediately ring a bell, at least not when it comes to the points ranking. We'll look it up after this live stream. So I was going through the calendar for the upcoming weeks. So we were at Mantra 116 in Indonesia, classic event in the ATM series, of course. It's been part of our series since the very beginning of that event. Arguably also one of the toughest, maybe the toughest of all if you do the 116 category with the high elevation. First of all, you spend a lot of time above 3,000 meters altitude. And it's also very technical. Mantra 116 is very, very technical. It's really a race for mountain trail runners. And even though it has become slightly more palatable, slightly easier as they took out the feared Mahapenya climb, I think 2 years ago, at least for the 116 category. It was perceived as a little bit over the top after the runners had already done Welirang and Arjun, and there's a bit of in between as well always. But that's Mantra, and it's going to be interesting this year because even Jeff Campbell is going to take part in the 116. So the reigning ATM champion after Singapore, because he also set to run Singapore, will move to Indonesia to run Mantra 116. Which is surprising because Campbell is not known as a technical runner, but he's been working very hard on honing his skills, as he also showed in V-Trail in Laos already this season. Another very technical, very tough race that one would argue is not Campbell's kind of terrain. And here we have the next three runners. So we're at number 7, 8, 9 here.
7, 8, 9.
Arthur.
Rekok dali sir, rekok dali.
Dan Fernandez here in the Kogi outfit. And this is, what's your name, sir?
Marjones.
Marjones, of course, yeah. Marjones already has quite a few points this season. Marjones Abugan, yeah.
Thank you.
Also a candidate for one of the spots in Team Pilipinas this year. Arthur Bascones. The runners arriving is Joe Mark Ferrer, ATM finalist last year, and also in the mix again for this year's team spot.
25 minutes yung gap sa naguna.
Grapes. Orange.
Mapsan pa tayo mag-CT scan. Kung magmotor. Kung ikarga ko ni Tim.
Kamatik yun.
So we have the top 10 in the men's already here at the aid station now.
Dito na. Di na ako masaka dito. Dito na ako sa backyard. Bahala sila. Salamat!
It's Joe Mark Ferrer. More runners coming down. I'll keep the live stream going. As I mentioned, it's going to be probably about 2 hours before we can update you again with the race leaders. We were talking about Mantra 116. Then we have the race in Korea. First we have the race in Japan. Shiga Kogen 100 in Nagano, of course. Also a new entry in the ATM Championship. Shiga Kogen is also the name of a national park. Very scenic trail run that exists already for quite some time in Japan. And it will be part of ATM for the first year. We're very much looking forward to that one. Shiga Kogen, it's a 100k. runnable, they say, but with 5,000 elevation, it's certainly also not the easiest route. Then we go to Korea, also for a new entry, organized by Jesse Yu and his team, OSK. And that's the Ulongdong, also known in short as UIIT. 50k run on the island. This is LD Bulot. We talked about him earlier as well. He was the joint winner of the Punisher last year, together with Kiksuelo. The understanding was then that LD was faster than Kik, but they decided to finish together. How's it going, LD?
Good. Very muddy.
Very muddy?
Ransi mo din eh. Ransi from Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte.
From Davao del Norte, Mark Ransi.
Santo Tomas, Davao del Norte.
Yeah.
Fruits, sir.
Nadre pagkaon, sir. Dili kay lapok.
May lapok, no?
Kita lang.
In the distance I see two more flashlights, so two more runners coming.
Koro ikaw, Ros.
Slide na. Hindi rin.
Hindi ba, Kik?
Si Juan, Eric. Taga Iligan. Oo. Layo ng gap nila, 10 minutes.
Dol. Tangog kayo. Eh,
Yan yung lalog eh.
patos ba?
Basta Dol.
Nanay ko. Okay. Dol.
LD Bulot. Something tells me he's not going to be in contention for the top 3 podium this year, today. So that was Korea, Ulongdon 50k, also new race. Then we go back to here, back to Bukidnon in Philippines for Muspo 100 kilometers. And then we go to Malaysia, to Sabah for the first time in a while for the Kadamayan Ultra, also known as Car Ultra. There we have a 110k and a 60k as points races.
Night fruits.
1 minute rin biya sa first.
After the Car Ultra, there's a little break.
Isaiah.
The beginning of August here is Isaiah Paraiso, winner of Mount Apo Sky Race 2023. He was also in the final last year for Pilipinas.
Pangkuan na siya, booster.
Isaiah Paraiso. Yeah.
That's the brand.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you doing?
Lemonade ang bugnaw kayo. Mabugnaw na lemonade.
My idol, my hero.
Slippery.
Do it. Ano man kan? Bago na nga A6 dol. Bago lagi nag-cooler lagi.
Color milk.
Bili ka nyo bro. A6 ugly na si Kuya.
Watermelon.
Reaction man no?
Na, tara.
Ay kay palabi sa sunod A6 dol.
May grape.
Ito naman ito mahunong ba?
Oh, yes, yun ito.
Ano ka sir?
Yes, sir.
Presidente sir.
Grapes.
We have Ronaldo Arteaga Jr.
Hindi mahalo na. Ito na mahalin for tito.
And I'll just finish the list of races that I was summing up for the calendar. So after a little break, we'll be back in middle of August with the Punisher in Davao, here in the Philippines. That will be the last race in the Philippines this season. And then we still have Borneo TMBT, last year's final. This year takes place at the end of August with a standard 100k and 50k points races. That's the last race in Malaysia this season. And then we still go to Indonesia for the new Ijen Mountain Marathon in East Java, close to Bali, Banyuwangi. And that takes place the first weekend of September. Then we have a 1 month gap until the ATM final in Vietnam, Mukang Chai Ultra Trail. And as usual, the ATM final is 75 kilometers in distance. Estimated elevation gain for the race is going to be lower than the last 3 seasons. And if the weather is dry, it could be relatively runnable. But just like here, the point trail, if there's rain, it also quickly can become slippery.
Approaching Tagaytay, sir.
So, you know, the weather is something nobody can book.
Backtrail ramo, sir.
What is for sure is that the ATM final this season will have a lot of potential winners. It's going to be, it promises at least at the moment to be extremely exciting. Promotion for trail running in Asia. Everybody wants to see the best runners facing each other in the same race.
Bob. Anong gibuldos man na dira?
Melon, ay asin, ay grapes.
Bob, mali ni. Sipo, pwede kita yun.
The road is very, very paudiros. Thank you.
Melon, ay grapes. Kamutik yun,
Spans, Bob. Ano ba, Sweeney, Bob?
may
Kasi
orange.
Winnie.
Sir, ay, kamuti.
May kuan, asin, kung gusto ka.
Napikon, sir. Kanina lang, sir.
All right. We're now just over half an hour since the passage of the race leader. Race leader whose name was Erik Kondalanza, right? Candelatza, yeah. Erik Candelatza, race leader by 5 minutes over Kiksuelo with Christian Jurgensen closely behind Suelo.
Sayaw, tol.
Then it was JV Kagatin in 4th place.
Lemonade, oh. Na lemonade.
We're waiting for the first female
May apple,
runners.
ay grapes. Banana
I would assume that they will come quite soon now.
We have orange.
It was Shelley Hewson at the first aid station together with another female runner whose name escapes me as well now. Could have been Christine, actually. Montoya.
Pwede ka na iligo.
Tuyo guro ni Buspin ba?
Wala ko, naragit ko diri yun. Yan ko pa silabot niya.
Tuyo niya ni pabundos dito ba?
Sabi eh.
Cook sir ha?
Ilapok mo.
Lapok pa imo, yung lapok.
Waist bead.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Thank you.
Good item.
It's a bit more quiet here now in the aid station. As we don't really know when exactly the first female will arrive, I will close this live stream and then we come back as soon as the first women arrive here. Then we have 2 clean videos.